all shall be well, shall be well, shall be well, and all manner of things shall be well. And all shall be well, shall be well, shall be well, and all manner of things shall be well. Clear us, clear us, clear us, clear us. Clear the air with thy swift flame. Burn all traces from our bodies till not a speck remains. Hello and welcome to the Nearly Show, the next of these sort of little chats I've been doing to camera, to myself, to the world, to you in particular, and about the experience of chemo in lockdown. But the big news now is that I've finished chemo. My oncologist called up last week. I've been having low platelets. I've been put off for a few weeks, but then she phoned up and we discussed it, and she thought it was best if I knocked on the head my last session. Most of the benefits are there, and she's worried about the platelets and also neuropathy, the sort of tingling in the fingers and in my toes, which is weird and should fade, but sometimes doesn't, can be permanent damage. So I'm through that, which is great, and a sort of cause for celebration. It's odd though, because it's a sort of stage of, taking the nasty medicine to make yourself better. I'm not doing that anymore, but now the next phase, the change of gear, is to start waiting for a session in about a month's time for scans and to see whether it's actually worked or what effect it's had, and then entering a new sort of phase of uncertainty, but so it goes. And of course, the weird thing is that the planet is doing something very similar, and I think that's why it feels worth talking about all this stuff, because my experience kind of matches, is so in sync with what's happening in the planet with COVID. Paul McCartney and me. When we flew to New York to see my 90-year-old Uncle John just before lockdown, we queued for hours in the early morning at JFK Airport to be quizzed by a hostile officer. And then as we emerged, Paul McCartney appeared from the next gate. 20 years ago, I met Paul at a work event. A historic meeting. I said to him, "Hello," and he replied, "Hi." And since when I felt Macca and I had a special bond. I listened to his last album made during lockdown, so after I'd brushed past him like it was recorded by a personal friend. He crops up sometimes in my dreams, being sort of encouraging. And in 2012, I saw him at the O2 Arena, but 20,000 other people were there, so he may not have spotted me. A friend says I get starstruck, go weird around celebrity, and I do have a tally in my head, as if a list of the famous I've brushed past was some kind of achievement. Elvis Costello on Waterloo Bridge, Laurie Anderson in a library, 3 doctors on the high street, Tennant, Capaldi and Whittaker. As a teenager, I saw Ravi Shankar on Tottenham Court Road. Thrillingly, he was wearing a fawn raincoat. I could go on. Gordon Brown I have properly, if briefly, met, and he became a regular in my dreams afterwards, sadder than in real life, and a little bit needy. Celebrity culture is defined by the internet as a pervasive preoccupation with famous persons and an extravagant value attached to the lives of public figures whose actual accomplishments may be limited, but whose visibility is extensive. Is my Macca thing a symptom of that pernicious culture? I don't think so, not really. I've loved the Beatles all my life. We do feel close to those whose music or films or politics we admire, and physical sightings give that closeness an illusion of substance. Through work, I have met well-known writers, and some I'd think of as true friends. But then they become like any other friend whose achievements aren't really why I like them. But public recognition does matter. Writers need readers. A global fan base would be nice, but a supportive group of friends or a good writing group works too. Most important of all is taking pleasure in the creative act itself. I'm sure Paul would agree with me on this. I'm looking at a blurry printout of a blown-up scan of two small snapshots taken on a Canon single-lens reflex camera. The original photos are glued into an album of my pictures and poems. Hattie and I are on the front seat on the upper deck of a bus, and I'm holding the camera to my face, looking up to take the pictures in the little round mirror at the top of the stairs, which you can see behind us. It's 1979 or 1980, so we're about 24. Hattie has her legs crossed confidently at the knee, arm draped loosely around my shoulder, looking out of the window, thoughtful, serious. Our haircuts are of similar length and style, cut short but thick on top. We both wear jeans and plimsolls, look relaxed. I have on a vibrant light blue velvety V-neck top over a brown and yellow striped t-shirt. Hattie wears a purple t-shirt under a thin crimson cardigan. Second hand, I think. I can't read what's written on the badge that she's wearing. We lived then in a ramshackle shared house in Sheffield where consciousness-raising groups met to discuss the patriarchy. A band practiced in the cellar. Monogamous heterosexuality was challenged. Relationships explored and exploded. Demos attended. Causes supported. In our room, using that same camera, recording equipment from the Community Arts Centre where I worked in the Sound Collective, and the mirror from a broken wardrobe door, we made a tape slide presentation for Hattie's final show at Sheffield Art College. Tape slide using a carousel projector was cutting edge just then. Called Last Tangle, our piece featured a soundtrack of my poetry, quotes from feminist tracts and Hattie's dissertation with added echo effects, played over slides of Hattie's art, and our naked bodies, reflected images of the two of us circling each other, eventually merging into androgynous Hattifer. These were radical, creative, sexual, earnest, challenging, painful, but exciting times. We loved each other, and we're out to reimagine love and desire. Last Tangle ended with us speaking these words, our voices overlapping. To take off our clothes and make love? I have never been naked. Hands gloved in assumption, bodies swaddled in fear, eyes fixed upon emblems of a standardized lust. There is a mask beneath my mask. Through time, through love, we take off, can we? Gather strength and strands together, love, through time, through struggle, to release the clench of power, to let slip and fall, through time, through love, slowly unravelling, love, through exploration, are we slowly unravelling.
All shall be well, shall be well, shall be well, no manner of things shall be well. And all shall be well, shall be well, shall be well, and no manner of things shall be well. Clearest, 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 clearest. Clear the air with ice, with flame. Burn all traces from my body, still not a speck remain. I'm not one for necromancy. Now we need a vaccine of the soul. Body, brain and planet shall be well, shall be well, shall be well, and all manner of things shall be well. And all shall be well, shall be well, shall be well, and all manner of things shall be well. And it's true, time turns and spirals. Same old cycles, massive change. History courses through our bodies, then it swims out of our veins. And all shall be well, shall be well, shall be well, and no manner of things shall be well. All shall be well, shall be well, shall be well, and no manner of things shall be well. These are our real lives, nobody's joking. We have to learn new ways of touching, new ways of coping. Bathe in light and sound and rhythm. Skinny dip in information stream. Hope, hope, hope the healing happens. See you in our dream. All shall be well, shall be well, shall be well, and all manner of things shall be well. And all shall be well, shall be well, shall be well, and all manner of things shall be well. All things pass, but life continues. Seasons change and lifetimes fly on by. Regeneration, recreation, re-us and them, and you and I. Clear us, clear us, clear us, clear us. Clear the air with ice, with flame. Flush all traces from our bodies till our speck remain. And all shall be well, shall be well, shall be well, and no manner of things shall be well. And all shall be well, shall be well, shall be well, and no manner of things shall be well. And all shall be well, shall be well, shall be well, and no manner of things shall be well. And all shall be well, shall be well, shall be well, and no manner of things shall be well.